So yeah, this is the Silent Hill play novel, fan translated, and it came out for the Game Boy Advanced. You know the one. And it sounds like shit, so brace yourself. It kind of sounds not good because it's Game Boy Advance. It has a very short intro that is truncated from the original intro from Silent Hill 1. Hope you're ready for the pain of the audio. Woof. Thanks for cutting it short, because ow. Fucking ow. Yeah, it does sound like a low on battery, like one of those tinny old speakers. Ugh, bad. So this does not get bigger than this. This is how big my cursor is. This is so small. It's so small that I'm actually looking at OBS to actually play it. So the Silent Hill play novel was a weird thing that got released pretty close to the release of Silent Hill 1, I guess. I don't really know. But it was GBA only, and it was Japan only. And it's basically a choose your own adventure novel, but in Game Boy form. And you can choose between Harry or Sybil's story. You can find out what the heck she was up to. What is my daughter's location? We'll find out, I guess, won't we? But I want to start with Harry. Let's start with the thing we know, and then we'll go to the thing we don't. I think there's, choose carefully your decisions. Each scenario has multiple endings. There are multiple endings in each of these. There's some sudden death routes, just like any good choose your own adventure story. Let's see what's up here. I tested with this scene, and I gotta say, the sound that his car makes is worrisome, and he should get it checked out. Thanks for subbing, everybody. As annoying as the subscription thing is, it's not gonna be as annoying as Harry's car. It's been a while since I have taken a vacation. I am driving my Jeep. Yes, you are. Look at him go. You can tell this was not localized. It was just like straight up translated. It has no finesse to it. Heading towards the quiet resort town of Silent Hill. Is it more annoying if I'm hitting enter or clicking? I'm going to hit enter a couple times. The sound of the engine reverberates in the darkness. Due to some slight car trouble earlier. Yeah, there was a window resolution here. It's gone. No, there was never a window resolution here, I'll have you know. I should shut off the audio for that, honestly. It's gonna be a little crazy. How do I shut off the audio for that real quick? I got to go to the subscriptions panel. And sound volume 0. There. Sorry, I'm silencing you guys when it comes to subscribing. Due to slight car trouble earlier, it has become this late. There it goes. There it is. That's the car trouble. Right there. I am Harry Mason. I am a run-of-the-mill writer on a vacation. Oh, it's the good Kuriger Dork. Cheryl's drawing pad never had it always had this texture that says Kuiger drugs, and I don't know why they went with that instead of drawing pad. Her eyes closed, Cheryl sleeps peacefully in the passenger seat. Cheryl is my daughter. She is cheerful and lively, and the occasional carefree smiles she shows make me feel happy. Now we can't spam these either. You gotta hear how hideous this shit sounds, not all this stuff. I can change that too if I want to. Wow. Now bits are quiet, but I'll know they're happening. Alright. I don't have very many relationships with people because of what I do for a living. Why not? So Cheryl's existence has become irreplaceable to me. Cheryl was very much looking forward to this trip. His face. Although paved, this is still very much a mountain road. Also, I'm sorry I'm reading it out loud, but it is a play novel, so if you're watching the VOD and you're like, oh my god, is she gonna read the whole fucking thing? Ugh. The answer is yes, I'm sorry. Treat it like a podcast, I'm sorry. At this hour, there is very little reason for any other drivers to be about. I push in the accelerator? Okay. That's what I mean about localization. I push in the accelerator. There is no light off in the darkness. I can depend only on my headlights. Can you hear the clicking keyboard? Is that annoying? Light reflects off the rear view mirror. It's a motorcycle. There is a motorcycle heading toward the same direction as we are at terrific speed at this late hour. This is a fan translation, but it's somebody who speaks English, and it's like, can't you finesse this a tiny bit? With a roar, the motorcycle effortlessly passes by the side of my Jeep. The seal of the police. Perhaps there has been an accident or something, but I don't recall hearing about an accident or anything on the radio. Cheryl is sleeping. Yeah, you established that already, my dude. A child should not be awake at this hour. I wonder if she is dreaming about something. Tomorrow I have planned to take her to the amusement park. Maybe she is dreaming about riding the merry-go-round? I glance over at Cheryl's sleeping face and then return my eyes forward. The lighted area of the road almost appears to be belched out from the darkness as it moves forward. It's getting puked out by the darkness. Burped out by the shadows of doom. Belched. This is why localization is important, y'all. Oh, Harry does look like James Franco there. Ugh. Don't tell any Hollywood types that, or else they'll cast him. Huh? Something enters my field of view. It's the motorcycle from just before. It is lying on its side, on the shoulder of the road. No doubt about it, it's the same motorcycle that just passed me. There is no sign of the driver. It looks like the driver smashed into the surface of the rocks by the side of the road while trying to avoid some kind of obstacle, and thus that part of the motorcycle has been destroyed. I carefully check the way in which my vehicle is headed. However, I don't see anything that could be an obstacle to my advance in the area illuminated by the headlights. A strange atmosphere creeps in around me. The radio reception begins to become erratic. Are we gonna hear it? No, we don't hear that, I guess. This MIDI! Perhaps I should turn back. But my foot persistently pushes down the accelerator with no intention of letting off. Is his foot like a free radical in this situation? You can no longer turn back now. Is that his foot talking to him? I can't believe Harry Mason's foot is a character in this. This is wild. Oh. Something murmurs within me. Oh no, now his liver is talking? Please increase your speed some more. What? Someone murmurs within me. Cheryl's eyes are closed. For the 4th time, the bitch is sleeping, yes. She is dreaming. I know that I should be awake. But what is this uneasy feeling? I feel as if my body is not totally my own. It's like someone, some strange being that is not me, is controlling me, like I am floating. My eyelids are heavy. As the steering wheel leaves my hand, it creates the illusion of setting the course on its own. Freezing cold. Uneasiness. Almost like being ready to fall asleep. I am just barely conscious, and now at my limit to maintain even that. When I saw the human figure on the road, I cut the wheel hard. Cut the wheel? And then there was nowhere else for my Jeep and I to go but down into the darkness below the cliff. This got fan translated. Not translated, but fan translated. The silence pierces my ears. As the wind blew, it was accompanied by piercing cold. Where am I? I can feel light faintly passing through my eyelids. You can feel light? You can sense light? So you can sense it. See, this is what I mean by localization. Feel and sense are kind of different things, you know? I don't seem to be hurt. That much is clear to me, because I don't feel any pain in my body. That is usually the red flag for being hurt, is feeling pain. No, perhaps I've suffered an injury that doesn't cause any pain. I slowly try opening my heavy eyelids. It is snowing in my car. Out of season snow is pouring into the town. Snow doesn't pour! Snow doesn't usually pour. Other than the sound of droplets of ice hitting the ground, there is nothing else to be heard. Silent Hill. Fucking name drop. That is what is assuredly written on the sign by the side of the road. Without realizing it, Cheryl and I have reached our destination. All my memories up until that point are gone. The wind is blowing in. When I take a look next to me, I am shocked. My baby girl. The passenger door has been left open. Cheryl is nowhere to be seen. Silent Hill. This town, which should just be a resort area, appears to have become just like a ghost town for some reason. Or maybe it was waiting for us to arrive. Or perhaps the town just nestled up to us. What? So now I am alone. Cheryl is not here. While I was sleeping, no, while I was knocked out, Cheryl opened the passenger door and slipped out alone into this tourist spot that is ruled by an unsettling silence. And then she left me to head somewhere. What's the demographic for this game? People who are too scared to actually play Silent Hill 1? I tightly closed my jacket around my neck and set off on foot in search of Cheryl. I wonder what in the world happened here. Nothing makes any sense. The silence, the out-of-season snow, and strangest of all, the entire town is wrapped in a thick fog. That's the least strange thing that you listed, Harry. That is the least strange thing. Fog actually does normally happen, so... I mean, what do these mean? But okay. Let's just do some A's. Let's do some B's. Maybe B is bad. Maybe B stands for bad and we'll get Harry killed or something. Yeah, none of these are complete ideas. I immediately get my face bit off by a pterodactyl. An air screamer. I thought I must find out if there is anyone other than myself here. This is definitely Silent Hill. I recognize the signboard on that store. A long time ago, when I was young, I visited here once. All the doors on the shops and houses are tightly shut. No. Among them, there is one shop with its door open, but there is no sign of anyone inside. It feels like just the people here suddenly vanished. Ding ding. I begin to run. Only the sounds of my footsteps echo in the surroundings. Just where in the world has Cheryl gone? Did someone lead her away? Various concerns run through my mind. Oh, there she is. Hey girl, get back here. I suddenly get the feeling that I heard footsteps other than my own, so I stop moving right away to check it out. Through the thick fog, I can see a figure that is about the size of a child. Cheryl? Without a thought, I cry out. The figure doesn't move at all. At the moment I begin to move slowly toward the figure, it starts to run. There's a great lack of commas in this thing. I fiercely chase after the figure. That's definitely Cheryl. Even though it is faint, I would not mistake someone else for Cheryl. However, no matter how much I run, I cannot catch up. Instead, the figure is gradually getting farther away from me. The figure puts on speed, as if it is gliding through the air. I thought it said glitching. The figure appears to be absorbed by the fog as it begins to disappear. In order not to lose it, I run with all my strength while keeping my vision centered on the figure. I then notice that I have come to an alley surrounded by buildings. Hey, I chose correctly, perhaps. This is what happens in the beginning of the game. Oh, it's dark already. I don't know how, but it is like a cover was placed over the sky, which had provided light until now, and the area has become engulfed in darkness. From the darkness, I can hear multiple footsteps coming this way. Let's save. Ooh. Okay. I think this will get me killed, so let's try it. I'm not supposed to meet anybody at this point in the game. I stood ready. What are they? With beast-like rage, they have closed in to right where I am. Oh, the babies! The claw fingers. Ah. And then my vitality is sucked away by these strangely shaped monsters until I finally lose consciousness. My vitality. Wow, I chose right, huh? Sybil Bennett. She's a full-time police officer working in the neighboring town of Brams. There was no one else in the cafe other than her and Harry. She took a seat at the counter and waited for Harry to awaken. There he goes. I suddenly awoke. Oh my gosh. It's confusing. I don't know how they sucked away my vitality. I think it had to do with chomping on my dick. Because that's what they do in the alley. Where is this place? Why am I here? Was I brought here by someone? There is no boundary between dream and reality, just confusion. As I lay on the bench seat in the cafe, my eyes slowly begin to focus. The woman sitting at the counter stands and folds her arms. She walks over and looks down at me. She is wearing a police uniform. The woman smiles a little bit as she appears to be relieved that I have regained consciousness. It looks like you've come around. Who are you? I tried talking to the unfamiliar woman. I'm Sybil. I don't know who's talking ever. Sybil Bennett. I'm here because all the communication with this town suddenly went dead, and so I came to investigate. I'm Harry Mason. I brought my daughter to this town for some sightseeing. But on the way, there was an accident and I lost consciousness. Oh yeah, Sybil, you haven't seen a little girl in this town, have you? A little girl? No, I haven't seen her. When I came to after the accident, my daughter was nowhere to be seen. The passenger door was open and she was gone. Sorry, my daughter's name is Cheryl. She is a timid person, so it is hard to imagine that she headed out into this weird town alone. Plus, I was there in the driver's seat. And since she gave me no warning, it just doesn't make sense. Are you familiar with this area? There is no sign of anyone, and what is going on with the snow at this time of year? Just what in the world has happened in this town? I said all of this while breathing deeply. So it all sounded like, oh, what is happening in this town? I'm afraid I don't know either. I still haven't seen anyone other than you. It's like the town is as silent as a graveyard, left without even the means to contact any neighboring towns. I see. Hmm? You also had an accident, right? I don't know who said that. I thought it was a good idea to head to the police station in this town alone on my motorcycle, but I guess I was going a little too fast. A girl suddenly jumped out into the road. I am pretty sure it was a girl. I almost hit her. I cut the handlebars hard in order to avoid her, again with the strange cutting the wheel, cutting the handlebars. I personally have not heard of this turn of phrase. After that, I could barely remember anything. When I came to, I was lying in the street in front of this cafe, so naturally I came in here to get out of the snow. I then found you sleeping there. I was having some kind of terrible dream. As for if I made it here on my own, I don't remember at all. Just what in the world has happened in this town? What is going on with everything? Well, the situation is definitely strange. I will head back to Bram's for reinforcements and then return here. How about you? Sybil stood and fixed her collar with resolute fortitude. I've got to look for Cheryl. There is no way I can just leave her here alone. Ah, classic. Here, civilian, take my gun. I see. Well, I'll give you this then. You never know what might happen under these circumstances. If you feel threatened, then pull the trigger without hesitating. Thanks. Hope I don't have to use it. In 5 minutes when a pterodactyl busts through the fucking window. Having never handled a gun before, I am surprised by how heavy it is. But will you be alright? I'm not like the average girls around here. I've undergone proper training. That's a new render of Sybil that I haven't seen before. Sybil placed her hand on the exit door, but then she turns and faces me again. Harry, don't go shooting me by mistake or anything. I haven't had any training on how to stop bullets. It's called a bulletproof vest and a helmet. She smiled after saying this, and then disappeared into the thick fog. Wow, what a wildly irresponsible cop. She sounds even more cavalier in this thing. What me do with gun? Him not know how to hold gun good. After being left alone in the cafe, I gazed at the handgun Sybil gave me for a little while. And then I thought about Cheryl, who had disappeared in this town. The figure I saw in the fog, that was definitely Cheryl, but she didn't answer my calls, and she was quite possibly moving away from me? I don't understand. I'm getting a bit mixed up. Still, the one thing I know for sure is that Cheryl has vanished in this town. All I can do is look for her. I may not have any knowledge of the surroundings or any clues, but I won't find Cheryl if I stay here. I stood up energetically and placed my hand on the cafe door. Huh, radio. What's going on with that radio? Something is making noise. I know what it is. Well, let's save and choose the wrong thing. Because it's inside the cafe. Let's choose the wrong thing. Bye! Outside, I open the door and hurry into the street, where a dinosaur eats my head off. The snow still continues to fall. I breathed in the cold outside air, and it feels like waking up. The noise I just heard until now had stopped. Is the wind drowning it out? My question was soon answered. Through the glass, I can see that a radio has been placed on top of a table inside the cafe. Is it that? I immediately went back inside the cafe. Your choices don't matter. What is this, a telltale game? Jesus Christ. I don't think I can fuck up. The noise has stopped. Thinking that it may come in handy for something, I slide the portable radio into my pocket. Slip. And once again walk toward the cafe's exit. Why did you give me a choice? The radio will remember that. After leaving the cafe, I decided to first head toward that alley from before. Hi. That's a new render too. A lot of these are like not new renders. They're like from their screenshots from the cutscenes, the pre-rendered cutscenes in Silent Hill 1, but this is totally new. That earlier shot of Sybil is totally new. Then I come to realize a constant. Also, I didn't read the previous thing. Oops. It was probably like, what the fuck are those things? The static on the radio changes based on their movements. The closer the monsters come to me, the louder the static gets. My sight is hindered by the fog, and on top of that, the weather is so bad that snow is falling. So this is extremely important information. Keep that in mind. I run through the snow that appears to have no intention of stopping. Increasing my speed each time the static comes in on the radio, I proceed into the fog. Following the thin thread of my memory, I finally arrive at the alley from before. The evil atmosphere has dissipated, and light pours in along with snow from in between the buildings. I move into the alley, and it dead ends after a bit. It's the Kudwig Dollar. At the end of the alley, I see a familiar sketchbook that appears to have been thrown away. The likeness of me that Cheryl drew is on the cover of the sketchbook. That is actually in-game true. Like, if you pick up the sketchbook and examine it, he says that it's a drawing of him on the cover that Cheryl made, which is cute. This is definitely Cheryl's. I try opening it. You didn't try, you opened it. You didn't try open it, you did it. You know? Yeah, whatever. Inside, the following is written in red ink. To school. Along Levin Street, I slipped through the back door of a house that had a doghouse, and then head for the school. That is true. That did happen in the game. The surroundings gradually fill with darkness, and only the flashlight on my chest illuminates this strange street. I pass through the entrance to the elementary school grounds. I feel like this is a good place to save, too. Nothing happened last time. Sheesh. Well, let's save here. And I'm curious, I want to load, and I want to see if something can change. It's in the cafe. Maybe I die. I look around the cafe, I walk in the direction the noise is coming from, and then I pick up the source of the noise. Radio. Yeah, look at that. At that moment, the window glass shattered with a thunder, and a giant bird-like creature flew into the cafe. Oh! Look at him! No, it is not a bird. No, I didn't pay money for this. It's free online. It is a creature with reddish-brown skin that looks as if it has been burned. In its belligerent pale green eyes, it is clear that my life is in danger. Oh, look at this shit! Yes. Well, let's try to die. What happens if we die? Hide underneath the table. Can't get me under here, fucker. I immediately hid underneath a nearby table. However, it was smarter than I thought. At a glance, its legs appeared thin, but it spreads them wide and uses its long nails as a tool to lift the table up and then lets out a loud laugh. It laughs! I don't have a choice. I have to try and fight. But if I randomly fire blindly, then I will only waste bullets. That's it. I must set my aim. Its body. When it spreads its wings, at that moment when its body is undefended, it swings its large arm-like wing down at me, and using that weapon, it just misses my neck. This is my chance. The target is its body. Mumbling, I tell myself that. However, I can't fix my aim very well. My hands are shaking. You hit him in the dick. You dick shot him right there. Another new render. When that single bullet hit it, it finally lost its life force and fell to the floor like a rag. Life force? What the hell? It's a great Henry impression there, Harry. This is not a dream. What's happening to this place? That's true, he does say that. Only the sound of my fist hitting the table echoes in the cafe. Thud. At my feet, the still warm corpse of the creature lies in the center of a pool of oddly colored liquid, also known as blood. Look, just back on the track there. All right, nothing bad happened. Let's skip ahead to the elementary school. Well, I got to see, that was cool to see. Yeah, all right. I'm glad we saw him flapping his little wings around. When I open the door that leads into the school building, I see that even more darkness is waiting for me inside. It is possible that Cheryl scribbled those letters to school. I can't be sure whether Cheryl is here or not. The word Cheryl has like lost all meaning to me. Like I'm just kind of slurring like Cheryl. It's just that I haven't a clue other than that sketchbook. A guide map of the school has been tacked onto the side of the entrance with a rusted thumbtack. After removing the map from the wall, I place it in my pocket and push open the heavy door that leads into the interior of the school building. I'm drinking so much water. My footsteps and the creaking of the hallway. They sound like screams as their reverberations rock my eardrums. God, you lead-footed motherfucker. Tiptoe a little bit. I had been walking carefully step by step, but without realizing it, I had begun to run. There is no sign of anyone. The silent innards of the school building are dark, and with only the flashlight on my chest, it is impossible for me to see any of the details. Cheryl doesn't have a flashlight, so if she came in here and got lost, then she probably wouldn't even be able to walk around. Well, guess she's not here. Let's leave. Since I have my flashlight turned on, she should be able to notice me easily, as well as the monsters. Yeah, where did he get the flashlight? I guess he just started with it, didn't he? Well, he originally had a lighter. He started with a lighter. Where did he get the flashlight from? I don't actually know. I'm losing Silent Hill street cred right here on stream. I don't remember if his flashlight just appears or if you pick it up from somewhere or from the car. I don't know. I don't know. In the game, like the game, I don't remember where. I don't think it's in the cafe. No, wait, it is in the cafe. It's where the first save point is. I think it's in the cafe. Okay. Phew, got that sorted out. At least I have that modest hope. Sorry about the flashlight lore. I then noticed that I have come to the entrance to the music room. Oh yeah, birds without a voice puzzle. I place my hand on the heavy door. Do we get to do puzzles in this, or probably not? When I open the door, I see that the inside of the room is large, and there is a grand piano placed in its center. That's actually the corner, Harry. As I sit on the chair of the piano, I am shocked. The seat is still warm, as if someone had been sitting here just a few minutes ago. Before. Cheryl's smile runs through the back of my mind. Cheryl often played the cheap upright piano in our home. It had become nice background music when I was working. Yeah, right. It was probably like thwang, thwang, thwang. Perhaps Cheryl had come to the music room. Whose ghostly ass was sitting in this seat? I gently opened the cover over the piano keys. I noticed that there is red mixed in among the black and white. I tried touching the liquid. It has a lukewarm feel. It is still holding heat. You're very heat-focused, Harry. Like the fourth thing in a row that's like, it's warm. This body, it's warm. The seat is warm. The blood is warm. I'm warm. It is definitely blood. My heart pounds in my chest like an alarm bell. Pounding like an alarm bell? Okay. The large amount of blood spilled on the keys. That's not a large amount. If this is Cheryl's blood, then she may no longer be alive. From losing like 2 ounces of blood, my dude? God, that's like a paper cut. An aggressive paper cut, but a paper cut. I wipe the stain off my hands onto my jeans, stand, and leave the music room. I don't do a puzzle. At the same time I closed the door, I thought I heard someone scream. Maybe it was just my imagination? I walk down the hallway. The sleety mixture of snow pounds hard against the windows facing the courtyard. I take a look through a window down at the dark courtyard. When did I get to the second floor? I guess the music room's on the second floor, but he didn't go up no stairs. Whatever. The not-so-large courtyard is dotted with areas in which withered plants are growing. If they're withered, they're not growing anymore, my dude. And in addition to that, an old clock tower is faintly visible. From here, I cannot determine what time the clock is pointing to. Wait. Something appears to be wriggling about in the darkness. An animal? No, it's dark and I can't see so well, but it is slowly moving on 2 legs. Cheryl, baby girl. It appears to be searching for prey. At that moment, the radio I had clipped to my chest suddenly began making noise. As I returned my sight to the hallway, a sharp pain runs through my thigh. You are already getting stabbed! Wow, he is already getting stabbed. So, these, clawfinger guys, they're only in, like, the PAL version of the game. And that's because, like, the gray children, sometimes they're called mumblers, sometimes these guys are called mumblers. I forget. I did a whole bunch of research for a video that will eventually get made. Whatever. I don't remember off the top of my head. Anyway, these guys are in the PAL version only. And it was allegedly because of censorship reasons, because the gray children type creatures were a little too much like kids, and they have, like, little knives, and they're child height. So they're just like, what if we just make them little weird teddy bear things with holes in their faces? Those oddly shaped monsters. They are posed like they want to hug me and have gathered around my waist. They are about to bite me. Don't fire at your own dick. Let's fire at our own dick. I instantaneously readied the handgun I was carrying and fired at the monster. Ow! I hit it, but its long claws dug deeper into my thigh, widening the wound. With my right hand, I push on its head part with force and knock it away. Its head part. It then totters and falls down on its face. That was when I noticed that I had been completely surrounded by those monsters. I readied the gun. I fixed my aim on their heads and pulled the trigger with my trembling index finger. Don't you mean its head part? I continued to shoot as each one of them appears. The smoke from the gunpowder began to fill the air around me, so I placed one hand over my mouth. Ooh, I died. Did I die? Is that death? Even after the noise from the radio had stopped, I could only stand there, paralyzed in utter amazement among their corpses. Is Cheryl all right? She shouldn't have been carrying anything that could be used as a weapon. But she's got moxie. Wow, I didn't die or anything. It's weird. I begin running. I can't just stand around. There is not a moment to lose. Cheryl is waiting for me. Wait a minute. Suddenly my vision became hazy or something, and I rubbed my eyes. Did I get, like, poisoned by that wound? When I look back, I see that all the bodies of the monsters have unexpectedly vanished. What? Was I hallucinating or something? I pull the guide map out of my inner pocket and shine the flashlight on it. Wow, all these marks disappeared. All these red marks from blood pens have appeared and disappeared, and now all the doors are unlocked, and... And then I confirmed that there is a boiler room located in the basement. My feet naturally began to take me there. Naturally. I'm naturally drawn to boiler rooms myself. I descend the stairs to the basement, taking one step at a time. A school building without light. As I move forward, I am beset on all sides by absolute darkness. As I head towards new fear and new enemies, my feet have no intention of stopping their advance. That's where we finally use a comma in the wrong fucking place? As I head towards, comma, new fear, new enemies, comma, now we're using commas? But oddly enough, I don't have a sense of justice. I just want to make sure that Cheryl is safe, to catch her in my arms. That is my only goal. I fall down the stairs like a dumb idiot. The boiler is not running. If I simply press the switch in front of me, then this eerie machine should begin operating. However, I just stand still. I try pushing the switch, but the boiler doesn't do anything at all. So I try opening the switchboard cover below the switch. What am I, a technician? It appears that I must somehow supply power from the main power supply to the boiler. The power supply is on the right. From the left of the switchboard, a thick pipe extends out and is connected to the boiler. Fascinating. Oh, what? What is this? What is this? No, did he do that? Oh, I wanted to do that. Harry, I thought maybe it was a puzzle and I'll get to maybe interact with the video game a little bit more. That was not in the game. I don't know what that was at all. This whole segment basically didn't happen. I miss puzzles. I love puzzles. Give me the puzzles, Harry. I wanna do it. Got it. I have an instinctive feeling that by pushing the switch, that something outrageous may happen. Something outrageous. By the way, this is not the boiler that is featured in the boiler theory, just so you know. Something outrageous. Although at the same time, I also noticed my daughter Cheryl's scream run through my heart, like a sense of duty that makes me feel like that I must push the switch. I slowly push the switch in. The entire school building shudders as if it were a giant ship. The entire elementary school building appears as if it has been swallowed by Cheryl's heart. As she stands alone in the darkness, I understand that I must do something. To the courtyard. The darkness softly whispers to me. Whoa, okay, this doesn't make no sense. Here we are. I was wondering if we were gonna do this part. The clock tower looks to be about as tall enough to reach the 3rd floor of the school. There isn't a 3rd floor. There's a roof. There's not a 3rd floor of the school. But okay. At its base, there is a small door about big enough for an adult to enter while bent down. The door solemnly opened, without me doing anything to trigger it. After opening, the door seemed to beckon the one standing in front of it to enter with an irresistible mental energy. I cannot resist that power. As I enter, the door closes with a hopeless thunder. Hopeless thunder? Inside the clock tower, a physiologically loathsome stench hung in the air. What? Physiologically loathsome stench? I'm trying to wrap my head around that. How can physiologically loathsome? I mean, loathsome is like a loathsome stench hung in the air is fine, and I'm trying to wrap my head around what makes something physiologically loathsome. What does physiological add to this sentence? Makes you want to puke maybe, but it's just weird. It's just a strange thing. No, this writer did not get paid by the word. This was directly translated by fans and I presume some programs that are not good. No translation programs are great. However, the smile of my beloved daughter in my heart lessens my uneasiness and lets me forget my fear, if only for a moment. Yeah, maybe they meant physically repellent instead of physiologically loathsome. I think you're right about that. That sounds better. Reassured, I place my foot on the ladder leading underground with my greatest motive, called love. Aww. The inside finally became a small passage about large enough for an adult. I run. Trusting that I will see her smile ahead, I run forward, stomping on concrete stained with the smell of death. Once I climb the ladder at the end of the tunnel, there will be no going back. I mutter Cheryl's name one more time. The depressing sound of the door closing echoes throughout the courtyard. Where am I? A raw, warm breeze brushes past my cheeks. That's a fart. He just described farting. Raw. Ha. The view lets me know that this is like a completely different world from the school I was just in. Once again, I think, where am I? Oh, that's a no good. I descend the small stairs leading away from the clock tower and become even more convinced. Fan art? Did I miss it? Where is it? Oops. I just missed it. That's really good. Oh my gosh, I gotta... What is this, display capture? I'm already capturing the display. What if I just move it up here? That looks really good. There's gotta be a better way. Okay. I should have did this beforehand. Window capture 3. This thing. Yes. Okay. Look at that. Looks great. See all the songs I recently downloaded for the LP. Bam! There it is. Thank you, Wegwert. It's precious to me. Love it a lot. They're so angry. Look how angry they are. Those bees are fucking furious. Oh man. Love it. Thank you so much. An extremely religious looking design has been drawn in the center of the courtyard. I wouldn't call it... It's an occult looking design, not a religious looking design. Oh my gosh. It's extremely religious too. That's so funny. Within a large double circle, a triangle has been placed, and within that, a strange pattern that looks like hieroglyphics is drawn. I don't remember this being here before. I mutter. This is definitely the school I was just in. The placement of the trees and the construction of the building. However, an overpowering feeling of nausea rises up throughout my body. A revolting, horrible smell like that of the stench of cutting into rotten meat thickly wafts through the air and is nearly visible to the eye. I begin to run. He does that a lot. I can no longer bear to stay in this spot. By the time I place my hand on the door that leads inside the school building, I no longer have the strength left to tell how long I was running. You ran about 10 or 15 feet, Harry Mason. It's not, the courtyard is not that big. You ran about 10 or 15 feet, my dude. Maybe it was only for an instant. It was. The school building has dramatically changed. Metal-grated floors, blood-covered walls, corpse-like puppets hanging everywhere. Hey, Corpse Buddy, shout out! What's up, Corpse Buddy? It's like a nightmarish scene in which everything is isolated from the real world. In spite of that, I run. I think because of it, you run, honestly. I'm searching for Cheryl. The unpleasant metallic sounds of my footsteps resonate throughout the inside of the school. Well, I mean, I don't know if they're literally puppets. I think it just means that they're lifeless. Because they are. If you don't know about Corpse Buddy, you gotta watch my Silent Hill 1 Let's Play. There's a reoccurring corpse that I love, and he shows up in the game like 6 or 7 times, and he just became a reoccurring, like a friend. A friend. And then I opened the door to the teacher's room. Perhaps the door is not installed correctly, as it took me several forceful tries to force it open. Several forceful tries to force it open. This is my favorite sentence so far. Because it's funny, because it's Silent Hill, and the idea of perhaps the door is not installed correctly is a really funny phrase for a Silent Hill protagonist to ever say. And then the redundancy of a forceful try to force it open. This is my favorite sentence so far. Maybe it'll get topped by something else later, but so far this is the leader. Once I enter the room, I am shocked. I would love to rewrite this script if I had any fucking time. I would love to rewrite this. I would love to, like, localize this. This is... Desks are strewn about, and a raw, rotten stench rules the room. Rules the room! I... Call the police, get help! Call home where no one should be? I want to do the opposite of things. I want to call home where no one should be. What if his wife, what if his dead fucking wife answers the fucking phone? Who's gonna answer the fucking phone? Where no one should be. I like how these are like way shorter than the first. Remember the first like binary choice we had? It was like totally, both were abstract, like incomplete sentences. Without knowing why, I dialed my home number where no one should be. Maybe there is a chance that Cheryl has already returned home. She hitchhiked. With slight hope, The phone is ringing. This is a really goofy looking phone, yeah. The mechanical electrical sound repeats over and over. Then all of a sudden it stopped. Hello? The voice of a man I do not know escapes from the receiver. Hello, who is this? From the receiver I hear a gasp. Ah. The phone went dead. I stood bewildered for a bit with the receiver pressed against my ear. There is a man in my house where no one should be. A man I don't know. I gently hang up the receiver, and for a bit I'm captivated by that blue telephone. Who was phone? I begin to leave the room. So either way, Cheryl's going to call us. That's what I think's happening there. It's a busy signal. Yep. Escape this insane world with her. And I turn to leave the room and the phone rings and it's Cheryl. Yep, there you go. My heart rapidly contracts. I like the idea of his heart just like shrinking, like just sucking in its gut and then not like releasing, like it just contracts and doesn't. The mechanical bell sound echoes throughout the room. I nervously approach the telephone and once again pick up the receiver. Daddy, help me! Daddy, where are you? It's Cheryl. There is no mistaking it. I firmly press the receiver against my ear, which is where it already was. Daddy, where are you? Cheryl. Is this Cheryl? In this part of the LP, right after this part, I remember I had a subtitle that was like, Shattered Memories looks so awesome. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. At that moment, Cheryl's voice is replaced with a busy signal. I knew it, I think. Cheryl is here. Being located in the residential area, many children probably come to this school. The interior of the elementary school is larger than I imagined, including classrooms. There are a lot of rooms, so locating Cheryl will be extremely difficult. There are a lot of rooms at a school. If Cheryl wasn't brought here by someone and instead came here of her own free will, then perhaps she might be in that one room. This is a thing in Japanese that I've noticed, and I've noticed this in like translations and localizations, is somebody will be like, I bet it's that person. Could it be that room? Is it once again that, like, it'll be vague because it's like leading you into this thing, but that's because Japanese is a more vague language. But it's always localized like this, and it's really strange to me. It always comes off weird. I spin around, run to the stairs at the end of the hall, and then sprint up them. Time to read a fairy tale. I've come to the library, and my eyes are drawn to the open book here. What was the, like, it was seeding the whole, like, maybe she went to the library. It would be a normal thing for an English person, just an English-speaking person to say, but it's like, just, whatever. It was... I get to choose what book it is? That's nuts. Either way, no matter what mistake, like, if I make a mistake, it's supposed to be a children's book. But there are these two books in nowhere. It's a dictionary of religious science? What? It's a Scientology book? Depending on the region, each have the characteristic of having individual doctrines. From ancient times, the practice of offering a living sacrifice was the only way to avoid disaster. Most believers are those who have chosen to renounce the world for the sake of their beliefs, while those believers who cannot yet give up their material possessions need to deepen their knowledge of the sacred texts. However, some believers have a tendency to strictly hide the fact that they are believers from others. This is because they believe that if the fact that they are believers becomes... This is because they believe that if the fact that they are believers becomes known, I don't believe it, then their effectiveness would become nothing, even with black magic, which is thought to have vanished in present times as magical spells are actively researched in such areas. In that process, an altar set alight with a sacred flame and a symbolic seal were required. Then, by summoning an evil being and bringing it to contact with a saint, a new existence is said to be able to be created. In this case, the saint is not limited to a priest, as an inanimate object can also be used. I become gripped with the sense that my actions have been controlled by someone this entire time. Coming to the library, seeing that specific page in the open book, even whatever it is that I must do now, it is a decision that is out of my hands. Whoa. Everything that has happened has been in someone's hands. I have gradually come to understand this. Even still, I probably cannot determine my own course. I accept the direction of the unseen one to whom I must obey. Is it me? Am I the unseen one? In order to find Cheryl, there is no other alternative. I know now where it is I need to go. As I journey there, I walk firmly, stepping forward one step at a time. I descend a staircase from which uncomfortably warm air flows and find an elevator at its base that invites me to descend even further as its doors slowly open. Once I enter, its doors close, and in the next moment, with a rusty clunk sound, the elevator begins to descend at a high rate of speed. Just how far down is it going? All I can do is go with the flow. Uh-oh! I gotta shoot a big fucking lizard, y'all. Gradually, the elevator and I are enveloped in hot, humid air. Hot, humid hair. The elevator stops, and I step off as its doors open. Beyond a short passage, a dazzling light emitted from a small room which had been waiting for my arrival. At the center, the fires of hell burned, and everything made it look like this room was meant for prayer. And then, it was there. It slowly moved around the enormous sconce from which flames and ash rose. Is that a sconce? I thought sconces were wall-mounted shelves. The lizard looks to have been suddenly mutated. Its outer shell is a mucous membrane type. Thank you. It just stares at me. With what? And with surprisingly comfortable speed, it looks for a chance to attack. Comfortable speed? Here. Alright. I shot his head with the gun many times. Let's run. I was overwhelmed by its size. Maybe I'll die eventually. I've got to escape. I don't stand a chance with the feeble weapon in my pocket. That's true, you should have found a shotgun or something. That would have been a good idea. I look for an escape route. However, the entrance I came through is now closed by a thick, solid metal fence without any opening which I could slide through. Can you imagine being able to slide through things in a video game? That'd be amazing. Like, sliding through anything that you could, and like, feasibly, like, you know, whatever. I cannot escape. At that moment, a part of my memory was suddenly awakened. Definitely. In the library, in the teacher's room. Let's keep fucking up. In the teacher's room, the phone call I received. Cheryl's cries dance about in my memory. That's right, I cannot let myself die here. Cheryl is waiting somewhere for me to rescue her. She's still alive. I raised my head. Its hard scales shined in the light from the hellfires. I thought it had a mucous membrane. You're wildly changing the physiology of this creature. It must have a weak point. If I can just hit that, I stood my ground and waited for its attack. I let it draw as close as I could, inside its mouth. If I could just fire blindly in there. Okay, the same thing would have happened because if I unloaded my gun into him, he wouldn't have his weak point exposed, and he would have came to the same exact conclusion that he needed to hit a weak point. It had drawn close, and then its mouth sprung open. It looked as if it were planning to swallow me whole. My fingers trembled at its size. I can no longer hesitate. I aimed at the inside of its mouth and quickly pulled the trigger. Over and over, the sound of gunshots rang out from my weapon for as long as I had ammunition. And then I lost consciousness. Oh, weak. It was time to meet Alessa for the first time. When I came to, I found myself in the middle of a dark room. Where is this? I wondered to myself for the 87th fucking time. The monster from before has vanished. I heavily stood up and then waited motionless for a bit until my eyes came into focus. Somehow this looks to be the boiler room. It is oddly quiet. He talks like Data from TNG, from Star Trek. Maybe I was dreaming. My very exhausted body seems to have also recovered somehow. The low hum of the boilers strangely calms my nerves. And then I sense the presence of a person and I shift my gaze. There was a girl standing there. She was wearing dark blue clothing and her light brown hair was neatly combed. That's light brown? The girl was just staring right at me. Once I noticed her and began to step toward her, she completely disappeared, as if her body just dissolved into the air in the room. I was alone in the room again. Bye. What was that? After standing around for a bit, I let out a long breath and then placed my hand on the door at the entrance. Time to go meet Dahlia. Sunlight is shining into the hall of the school building. As usual, the snow is still outside, but I am gripped with a strange feeling of relief, as if cancerous cells had just been removed from me. Filled with relief, again, I slowly walk toward the exit of the school building. And then I learn that Cheryl is not here, from the loud sound of the church bells that seem to call out to me. You didn't learn any... whatever. I hope we stop by Just Cats. That's my favorite store in Silent Hill. I begin to run toward the church on a road half covered in mud. Snow falls above my head, some of which freezes my hair as chilly air flows by. When I reach the church, I push open the heavy doors without hesitation because I want this horrible sound to stop. A cross is mounted on the front wall. Long benches are lined up on both sides of a small walkway. It was as if time had stopped for this familiar-style church. In front of the altar, a sly-looking woman with cold eyes looks down at me with an eerie grin as I walked up to her, stepping one step at a time. Stepping one step at a time. She gazed at me without blinking. She looked as if she had predicted that I would arrive by gyromancy. Were you ringing that bell? The woman snorted with a humph. I don't know why I like that sentence a lot. She snorted with a humph. I do that sometimes.
I've been expecting you. It was foretold by gyromancy.
What are you talking about?
I knew you'd come. You want the girl, right?
The girl? You're talking about Cheryl. My eyes grew wide.
I see everything.
You know something? Tell me.
Stay back.
The woman held the palm of her hand out at me and then lowered her chin in a way that suggested, please calm down. Please calm down, sir. Well, they verbatim this scene.
Nothing is to be gained from floundering about at random. You must follow the path. The path of the Hermit concealed by Flauros.
What? What are you talking about? I asked once more without hiding my bewilderment.
Here, the Flauros, a cage of peace. It can break through the walls of darkness and counteract the wrath of the underworld. These will help you. Make haste to the hospital before it's too late.
The woman held up a strange object and then softly placed it on the desk on top of the altar, and also on top of the map so that I can't possibly not get the flowers, so that I can't glitch the ending, so that you have to pick up the flowers to get the map and the yeah. Wait, don't go yet. Her story was unclear, and I don't understand it. Silent Hill in a nutshell. I will. I will. I cannot just carelessly believe her. I'm trying to die. I thought that insane woman's behavior and the details of her story were questionable. And then I died. All that remains in the church is the reverberations of the sound of a door closing. I go after that woman. I am convinced that that woman definitely knows some secret of some sort. However, the knob on the door that she went through will not turn at all. It must be locked from the other side. Damn! Now I am the only one left in the church. Almost as if taken from a nightmare, this space has heat. What? What? Almost as if taken from a nightmare, this space has heat. Almost as if taken from a nightmare, this space has heat. Huh. See, there's some parts of this that I would not fucking have a clue how to localize because I don't know what that originally said in the slightest, and I don't know what it means now. What in the hell does that mean? This warmth, it feels like it is protecting me from something. That is the best way to describe the heat. Are you sure, Harry? I don't think that's true. I move away from the door and begin walking to the altar that the woman was at. The object that the woman was just holding has been placed there. Yeah, the key. And like map or whatever, I don't remember. The flowros. That is certainly what that woman had called this. I try picking it up. I try. Why does he keep trying these things that are very easy to do? Like, I try to pick something up. I try to open a book. Like, you just do it. Don't try it, just do it. And then I place it back on top of the desk right away. It is power. Oh, can you hear it shining with power? Can you hear that, friends? Shwa! It is power. The overwhelming power of the gods rests inside this four-sided object. It was a sensation like an electrical current passing into the palm of my hand, and then power moving throughout every nook and cranny of my body. I pick it up once more. This time I calmly take it into my hand and then place it in my pocket. For some reason, I'm convinced that this object will help me find Cheryl. Oh god, is this thing gonna make this noise the whole time it's in my pocket for the rest of the game? Okay, there we go. I love that just in the game you just pick it up. It's like, doo-dunk, you got the flowers. And it's just like, there's no fanfare, there's no like, wow, this thing feels powerful. The nooks and crannies of my body. I feel it all the way up my butthole that this thing has a lot of power. I pick up the key that was next to the flowers, open the door of the church, and rush out into the heatless snow. The heatless snow once again. The heatless snow. Uh-huh. That makes sense. Hospital? That woman certainly said something about one. I wasn't really paying attention. She certainly said something about one of those things. Hospitals. Alchemilla Hospital. The only hospital I could find on the map was that one. I could see my breath as I exhaled while I headed toward the entertainment district, which is where the hospital is, the entertainment district. That isn't where that is. The bridge to the entertainment district. Okay, yes, but the hospital is on the... Yeah, but if, whatever, okay. The bridge to the entertainment district has been raised so that boats can pass by it in the river below. In other words, it is split in the middle and is fixed in a raised position that makes it look like the Japanese katakana character Ha! Oh, that's... why did... Wait, how does Harry... No, wait a minute. How does Harry Mason, guy from New England... He's a weeb and he knows the Japanese katakana character for ha. Or is it E? Or is it Re? It's really hard to tell in these fucking things. I'm bad at fonts. I'm learning, but I'm bad at fonts. I think it's ha. Weeb ass Harry knows this. And also it was in Japanese. Harry Mason knows, like, in canon, Harry Mason knows Japanese. Because what? Unless it's, okay, when they wrote it in Japanese, wow. My brain, what is happening? Oh my god, I'm not drinking or anything. I'm just perplexed about, like, what does this mean? How did they write this originally? Was it just like, you know, when you write something in English and it's somebody who doesn't speak... Oh god, I don't even know how to wrap my head. I don't even know how to explain what I'm trying to think here. Fuck it. It looks like the Japanese katakana character, ha. I entered the nearby drawbridge control room, placed the key I was holding into the control panel, and forcefully turn it to the right. While emitting a sound like an old woman laughing, the bridge finally begins to lower, inviting me to the entertainment district. What did it sound like? Did it sound like ha, 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 ha? Oh my god. Oh man, chat, you're being really funny. After crossing the bridge, I shudder. The temperature is gradually declining. He's very temperature focused in this play novel. Or maybe it is just a result of the thing inside me that produces nervousness and fear. The thing inside me that produces nervousness and fear. On this wide road, there is not a single motorcycle running. Why would there be? I am running right down the center of it. Okay, why did you bring up motorcycles? If I continue forward, Alchemilla Hospital should be on the right. And it is. An old building appears in the thick fog. On the signboard, Alchemilla appears in faded letters. Its eeriness caused me to hesitate for an instant, but in the next moment I placed my hand on the cold gate. I opened the heavy hospital gate, and then opened the door directly to my right that has entrance written on it. Then I remembered to blink and breathe. The inside of the hospital is wrapped in silence. What's funny is I asked my Silent Hill friend Whitney how long these scenarios are, and she's like, 15 minutes. It's been an hour and 15 minutes. How? Maybe if you're just like scrolling through reading really fast. Wrapped in silence. To the left, there is a reception area in which various papers are neatly placed on a shelf. Waiting benches are lined up along the back of this hall, and a television is pointed at them. I do not feel the presence of any patients or even any people. Not all people are patients, but all patients are people, Harry. Except patient demons, but they haven't been invented yet. Only faint light pours in through the windows from the cloudy sky. The hall is filled with trace scent of alcohol which penetrates my nose. I begin walking. After passing through the waiting room, I reach a long corridor. I open the door marked examination room. I'm saving again. Just because there's a save point here in real life made me think I should save again. At almost the exact same time as I opened the door, a man inside jumped up out of his chair. He is holding a handgun in his right hand. I hide behind the door in panic. Immediately counterattack with my gun! I'm shooting him. Fuck him up. He's a bad man. I instantly ready my gun. That plump man appeared to realize that I was a human, but as soon as he saw the gun, his eyes grew wide. Hold it! Stop! Don't shoot! Wait! I'm not here to fight! After I loaded my gun, the man sat down in his chair in a way that showed he was relieved. Thank God, another human being. The man nodded. Oh, is he gonna say, have you ever seen such aberrations? I love that line. Such aberrations. I was truly relieved. Silent Hill, which has become a habitat for strange monsters. This is my first contact with someone from this town. That's not true. You fucking met Dahlia 5 minutes ago, my dude. What are you talking about? That's not your first contact with someone from this town, you liar. I'm Dr. Michael Kaufman. I work at this hospital. So maybe you can tell me what's going on. That man who called himself Kaufman once again stirs in the chair he is sitting in. And so, well, Sybil's not from this town. Sybil's from Bram's. So maybe, you know, whatever, but Dahlia's from here. I really can't say. I was taking a nap in the staff room. When I woke up, it was like this. Everyone seems to have disappeared. And it's snowing out, this time of year. Yeah. He looks off at the floor of the examination room. There, on the floor, a corpse of a still warm monster lay on its side. You are so focused on warmth and cold. It is just, oh, constant. It's just constant. So much temperature. Something's gone seriously wrong. Did you see those monsters? Have you ever seen such aberrations? Yes! Yeah! Aberrations line! Woo! Ever even heard of such things? You and I both know creatures like that don't exist. Yeah. And then I turned to face him as I realized something. Have you seen a little girl anywhere? I'm looking for my daughter. She's only 7. Short, black hair. She's missing. I'm sorry. But with all those monsters around, I highly doubt that she's... Sorry, I didn't mean to alarm you. Your wife, she's here with you? She died 4 years ago. Now it's just me and my daughter. I see. I'm sorry. Well, I'd better be going. I can't just sit around here doing nothing. So long. Good luck out there. I'll try to save you from a teddy bear later. The examination room door shuts powerlessly. Powerlessly? Dr. Michael Kaufman. Oddly enough, I have completely memorized that name. Huh? I suddenly notice that there is something on the floor that looks like a white scrap of paper. Because it is! What is this? I pick it up. Letters have been disorderly scribbled on it? Letters have been disorderly scribbled on it. Disorderly scribbled on it. Huh. Arrival tomorrow morning, be prepared. What is this? I carefully look around on the floor, but there doesn't appear to be anything else interesting that was dropped. Okay. Never mind. I leave the examination room. Kaufman is nowhere to be found. I begin to run. Oh, how many times is he going to do that? I pass through the medicine room and reach a planked floor corridor that silently extends in an L shape. Silently. I moved forward and found that there was an elevator with a large door at the end of the corridor. I try pressing the buttons beside it. Nothing happens. It looks like the power is off. There are several doors in the corridor. I begin opening each one in order. Wow, this is exactly how you play a real Silent Hill game. Wow. I don't remember this room. I open a door marked meeting room, head inside, and close the door behind me. A large table rests in the center of this room, and I notice there is something glittering on top of it. I grasp a light green key, leave the room, and once again step into the chilly corridor. Light green key. The next room looks to be a kitchen. I guess that the food for patients is probably prepared here. In the kitchen. Various bronze cooking utensils are neatly arranged in order on the stainless steel countertop. It does not appear that anything terribly important is here. I carefully look through the various cooking utensils. Inside a large pot, there is nothing at all. Why? Why did you tell me that you did that? While continuing to search to see if there might be some clue here or not, I noticed that on the far wall, various objects have been scattered about. I carefully move forward on the wet floor as not to slip. Something is there. I reach out my hand toward the thing in front of me. Oh, this is ending choosing. Choosing ending. You can do both. You have two hands. I'm just saying. Yeah, I think they meant copper. Yeah. Don't take the knife. Well, want me to save Sybil? And also exercise my child? My not child? I also pick up the knife. I move past one of the sinks and notice an empty plastic bottle sitting on the end of the counter. Perhaps this might come in handy for something, I said out loud to no one. I mutter this and grab the empty plastic bottle. Then I leave the kitchen. After leaving the kitchen, I head right and place my hand on the first door that I come to. I notice the words director's office out of the corner of my eye as I open the door. So they made me go here first so that I don't accidentally, because the director's office is actually first and the kitchen is later down the hallway. So they made us go to the elevator first so that on the way back it would make sense to get the bottle and then go to the director's office to pick up the Aglaophatus. From inside the room, a strong stench overflows outward and causes me to feel dizzy. Someone pooped up this room. Behind the desk that probably belongs to the director. Probably, I don't know. It's only his office. I guess the desk in here belongs to him. Several bottles have been broken, leaving red and blue liquid all over the floor. If I use the plastic bottle. What? Whoa! What does this shit do? Wow, this is actually an interesting choice. How can you only scoop one or the other? Purple. Wait, Aglaophatus is red. I don't know what is blue. This is completely new. What the fuck is this shit? Yeah, a tampon commercial happened in here. I'm leaning towards purple. I'm really curious what the blue is, though. That's Gatorade. What is the blue stuff? Part of me thinks that the red is correct because I've played the game and that's Aglaophatus. But what the fuck's purple and blue? Pepsi. Pepis. And purple is mixing red and blue, that is true. The redder the better. Windex. Oh my god. I need a lozenge. I'm gonna come back. You guys decide. Vote for me on which liquid you want. Sort it out for yourselves. I'll be right back. I need a lozenge very badly. I've been talking way too much. All right. What's the consensus, y'all? Got me some cough drops. I can't believe my voice is getting shot from only an hour and a half of talking. I talk all the time. My cough drop is red. I mean, most cough drops are red though, right? Alright, doesn't look like there was a huge consensus, which means it's mixed, which means it's purple. I get out the plastic bottle and use a fragment of the bottom section of one of the broken bottles to pour the purple liquid into the it. Into the it. The sticky liquid drips into the plastic bottle. The last drop lingered, but once it finally hit the surface of the liquid, already inside the plastic bottle, I tightly closed the cap and then left the director's office. into the... I crept out into the corridor once more and stood in front of the door that was closest to the elevator. I opened the door, and the reverberations of the sounds of it opening and then closing shake my eardrums. The walls are made of concrete. And a few steps in, a staircase leading to the basement extends like the folds inside the body of a snake. What? And a few steps in, a staircase leading to the basement extends like the folds inside the body of a snake. What? Look, I'm no herpetologist, but I don't know what the fuck that means. Snake knower. Snake knower. I picked purple. It is dark and difficult to see, but it looks like there is a door at the bottom of the staircase. Be brave, I mutter to myself. Leaving only the echoes of my footsteps, I descend the staircase to hell, one step at a time. And then I open the door leading to darkness. Darkness on top of darkness. Is it warm in there? That's the big question, though. A world without light. What is this, a Kingdom Hearts game? I could see that the electricity was most likely out in the entire hospital. I pressed the switch on the flashlight on my chest and tried lighting the area. Yep, that's the basement. It is creepy, and yet there is nothing noticeably out of place. Chilly air drifts from the cold concrete, and it seems as if touching it would completely rob my body of its warmth. While moving through the corridor, I try opening the doors as I come to them. Of them, the one opens with a creak. It's the morgue. Nah, the morgue is later. Actually, we don't go to the morgue in this one, do we? Whatever. Emergency generator is written on the machine that occupies most of the room. Don't forget that there is a big fucking pickaxe in here, Harry. To reach the second floor and above it did not look like there was any method other than using the elevator. Actually, there are stairs, they're just locked. So without hesitation, I turn the machine on. I immediately head for the elevator. I press the up button. The heavy sound of the motor and the sounds of the metal parts coming into contact with each other almost sound like intertwined screams. Ah! With a ding, the elevator stops and its doors slowly open. I didn't hear a ding. The inside of the elevator is large. It seems to be about big enough to accept 3 hospital beds. Buttons for each floor are lined up to the right of the elevator door. They are marked 3, 2, 1, and B from the top down. I know, I can see that with my eyeballs. Thanks, Harry. Well, I don't even get a choice. First, I head to the second floor. However, after I step off the elevator, I find that the door connected to the corridor that leads to the rooms on this floor is locked. It's true. With no alternative, I try heading to the third floor. Same situation. I go back to the elevator, and there is suddenly a 4th floor there. I've already tried moving to every floor. With nothing else to do, I re-entered the elevator, and then I could not believe my eyes. One of the buttons for each floor. Of the buttons for each floor, 3 was definitely the highest floor just before. In spite of that, a new 4 button has been added. 4 means death. The elevator doors open with a familiar sound, and I step out onto the 4th floor. Again, I think, a condition extremely similar to that which I encountered after passing through the basement in the clock tower at the elementary school was present right in front of me. Whoa! That was a sentence, wasn't it? Wow. Forgive my lozenging right here. I'm just gonna bask in that sentence and bask in this lozenge for a moment. That's a good sentence. It's a good sentence right there. So I don't think the Japanese character for 4 is the same as the Japanese character for death. It's the same sound. It's she. But so are a lot of things. A lot of things are she. Dark red rusted walls, metal grated floors, and a ringing in my ears that seems to creep up from the depths of hell is a menace to my mental state. I open the door in front of me, and a long corridor extends beyond it. I very carefully move forward while keeping my eyes fixed on the wall. Could Cheryl be here? Could she have fallen through the center hole in the floor here? The only way to find out is to search this place. Huh? I can hear something in the darkness in front of me. It sounds like the groan of something dragging on the ground. The owner of that groan is slowly closing in on me, but I cannot see what it is for sure with the faint light of my flashlight. I instantly leave the area. Get the fuck out of here. Nah, it's just gonna be another guy behind me. Whatever. It is probably not human. I firmly gripped the gun, positioned my finger on the trigger, and began to walk toward it with the gun ready beside my face. I don't know, it's concept art. Eventually something white enters my field of vision. Nothing is white here. It's all red. I adjust the aim of the flashlight on my chest with my hand and shine light on it. A white figure appeared, which is stooped over like an old woman. It looked to have undergone a grotesque change. It's wiggling. The monster has a very large hump on its back, which twitches and moves as if it were alive. In one hand it holds a knife, which it waves as it approaches me. In the instant I readied my gun, the monster began to run. By the time I realized this, it slashed at me. I instantly dodged the attack. And thanks to that, my clothes were slashed, and I had only a scratch on my side. I suppose I was lucky. Damn! I kick it in the face with the bottom of my shoe. Bam! And it falls down its back. Pachow! It then begins to stand for its next attack. I close my left eye and steady my aim. Even after one shot hits, its movement does not change at all. I fire more bullets at it from the gun many times. It is laughing. In a voice great enough to shake the entire world, it laughs as its face twists and distorts. And then it dies and it's fine. I cannot give up. When the final bullet loaded into my gun hits, it finally stops laughing. This time it is face down, and I begin crushing it with my foot. Finally, it completely stops moving. Is that fan art Reduxus? Yes, it is. Beliefs. I believe my beliefs. Do you believe it? Thanks, Reduxus. Another monster approaches from behind the corpse of the first one. At this rate, all the bullets in the world would not be enough. All I could do is run. Do any of these matter? I begin to run toward the monster in front of me. Evading the large swings of its knife, I run down the dark corridor, occasionally stumbling. I see a staircase leading down. I race down it, knowing not whether if something is waiting for me or not at its base. I race down it, knowing not whether if something is waiting for me or not at its base. Phew. I am thinking about Cheryl. Even if she is held prisoner somewhere in this hospital, there is no guarantee that I can rescue her. In fact, there is no reason that the staircase I am descending should lead me to Cheryl. I begin to think that all of my current actions are meaningless. Whoa! Calling itself out. You ain't lying, none of this shit matters. However, generally speaking, since I arrived in Silent Hill, no, since the day before leaving for Silent Hill, no, even longer ago, since the day I met Cheryl, perhaps I have had no choice in my actions, that they have been determined by the someone's will. By the someone's will. Met. Well, met is true because it's not his kid. She's adopted from the side of a road. But found, I guess, would be more appropriate. Although you don't find out that he adopted her until later, but whatever, it doesn't really matter. None of this matters. None of it matters. As I continue to the base of the stairs, I contemplate what if my life up to this point had just been on one track. As I descend these stairs, my ears begin ringing again. The ringing is so forceful that it cannot even be compared to before, and it forces me to squat down. Forceful force. Again with the forceful force. What in the world has happened? Perhaps I've opened a door to hell, a door that should never be opened. Something is clearly changing, and it is for the worse. Going back will not be permitted. I must move forward. Forward. I put my hands together on my head, then squeeze my temples tightly by using my elbows. What? Wait, what? How do you use your elbows to... Wait. Put your hands together on my head, squeeze my temples tightly by using my elbows. Someone try to draw that, because I'm not exactly certain how that happens. Hands on the back of his head, and then elbows forward? Do you think that... Okay. That makes more sense. Then he would put his hands on his neck. The back of his neck. Whatever. Whatever. The ringing then begins to sound like a demon is whispering in my ears. However, it doesn't stop. I blindly begin to run. Even if I am to die in this mad land, I must save my beloved Cheryl first. This mad land! What a mad lad. Believing that the answers are beyond the door, I know that I must discover at least one clue. Several overlapping square figures are shaking in time with the sound of my heart. What? Square figures? It is the wall at the end of the area. What? Another wall lies perpendicular to it. There is a door present on this wall with a plate on it that says storehouse? What? Some chemicals have been placed on the table that is next to the door. There are 3 beakers of different sizes and a test tube. The test tube contains a liquid that is of a different color to that which is in the leftmost beaker. I found a memo! This is not in the game. To create it, you must come up with 1 deciliter of liquid and pour it into the test tube. Come up with a deciliter. No more or no less, that man had said. But there are no graduations on the beaker. Ah. This makes it impossible to come up with 1 deciliter using these 3 large beakers. Using the 10 deciliter, 7 deciliter, and 5 deciliter beakers, you must create an amount of exactly 1 deciliter. Don't act like I have to do a puzzle. I'd like to. Yeah, this is not... This is like a... Look, he's doing it for me. You're so smart. Yep, that's how you do it. Yep. Show us how it's done, Harry M. Why did they put puzzles in the game if I don't get to solve the puzzles? This puzzle is not in Silent Hill or anything. It's just like a rando-ass puzzle. Got it. Good job, game. You did it. Harry melted the chain on the door with the completed liquid. Why did you only need one? Okay, whatever. It's fine. It's cool. They put it in the test tube. The door slowly opens with a click. Inside the storehouse, nothing important looking stands out, except Lisa. I carefully edge between the simple metal shelves that have been placed here in a specific arrangement. However, nothing is here that makes this room worthy of being called a storehouse. Wow, judgmental. Really judgmental. I am drawn toward the cabinet in the back of this room. This is because I found the presence of the wooden cabinet strange and unsuitable for this simple room. Wow. Harry Mason, interior designer. I approach the cabinet and try to open it. However, it will not budge. Oh, fan art of Weeb Harry's nightmare. Wow. It's good. Thank you. Aww. He's so cute. I love it. Thank you, Egbert. Well. Wow. I don't fucking know. Putting force into my fists, I pounded the cabinet's small wooden doors until they broke. I wish. Come on, man. You're a video game protagonist. You can't do shit like that. That's ridiculous. Inside there is nothing of particular value. At that time, I noticed that I could feel cold air coming from behind the cabinet. Oh, it's that cabinet. And at the same time, I also noticed marks that look like they had been left from dragging something on the floor. Yeah, there's no reason to choose any, like, I'm choosing weird goofy shit and the game is still playing itself. The marks on the floor are still fresh. They tell me that some other human probably came down here. Is there something beyond this cabinet? Wish I didn't break it with my fists. My fists hurt now. Using my body weight, I slowly pushed the cabinet from its original position. The existence of the inviting door behind the cabinet seems completely natural. That door does not seem inviting to me. It looks like it's caked in blood. So of course I placed my hand on it. The room is very inorganic, but it's got plant growth in it. While shining my flashlight about, I move through the room and eventually discover a grate in the floor. From between the bars and in the grate, I can see a staircase that leads to a lower floor. The grate makes a clunk sound as I open it. It is quite heavy. Even though I am sure of my strength, I do not believe that I could pick it up. After opening the grate enough so that I could pass through it. Really? You have to actually do something in the game. You have to burn all those leaves off the grate, I think. Oops. Nudging the microphone, sorry. Slowly and cautiously, confirming each step as I go, I descend the staircase to a mad place in which light cannot reach. Finally, I reach a wide room, much wider than I imagined. I guess this based on the echoes of my footsteps. I am running through this eerie space that lies in the basement of the hospital. It is lifeless, and there is no light. As established, all I can do is run through it. Does this world have an end? Or did it even have a beginning? Everywhere I go, all that I do is solve the mysteries that appear one after the other and then move on. Yeah, because you're not letting me solve the mysteries, my dude. I understand this and expect that the same situation will occur. Still, all I can do is move forward. My thinking always results in this conclusion. Yes, it sure fucking does, Harry. This door has awaited me. I slowly turn the knob. The inside of this room is different from the ones I have encountered up to this point, and I can feel life in here. There are traces and a sense that someone was in this room. I softly pick up the picture frame that was displayed on the desk. Alessa. That is engraved on the picture frame. I gaze at the picture. It is a face that I think I've seen somewhere. I try to remember where as hard as I can, but in the end, I cannot remember at all. Bitch, you saw a ghost, and she looked like this. But I am sure that I have met this girl somewhere, and more than just once. A diary has been placed next to the picture frame. I reach out with my hand. You already picked up the picture. Something is written in the diary. April 15th. From today, this will be my new diary. Lisa secretly gave this to me as a present, and it means that soon I should be able to take my bandages off. A bird landed on a branch of the tree outside my window. What? You have a window in the basement of the basement of the basement? Oh, the puzzles used to be real? What? That sucks. Oh, that sucks. Thanks, guy, for coding it so I can't do the fucking puzzles. I gazed at it for a bit. Seeing those beautiful colors, I thought again that it must be spring. I wish I could play outside like the other children. It is now afternoon, and they have come again. I pretended to be asleep, and it looks like they did not notice. They talk quietly as not to be heard outside my room. I do not understand the meaning of what they discussed. They never talk in this room, I thought. April 16th. Someone is talking outside my room. It sounds serious, but it doesn't seem to be about me. Perhaps it's because he doesn't want to disturb me? Even the hospital director has not come to see me much lately. I don't like the director very much, so I'm honestly quite happy. April 16th. P.S. By some strange chance, I learned a certain person is coming to visit me. April 17th. Everyone has been in a rush for some reason since before sunrise this morning. Something about a dead person coming back to life. Does that really happen? It is a frightening story. And because of that, my meal was a little late. The cold soup is disappointing. Suddenly, I remembered him. Maybe he has forgotten me, but I definitely remember him. Lately, I think of him often. I want to see him. It looks like my visitor is coming in the evening on the day after tomorrow. Before then, just once. April 18th. It is finally tomorrow. I will not tell anyone about this. If I tell anyone, they will probably strap me to my bed before they arrive. The friend that can share my feelings, the only one. I wonder if she will realize this. Tonight I will go to bed early. April 19th. I must get out of here. For the first time in a while, I have wore my favorite pendant. Does it look good on me? I will write about the results here tomorrow. April 20. The last page is blank. There's a fan art of Harry massaging his temples with his elbows. Looking good. Good blending on the neck there. I place the diary under my arm and prepare to leave the room. 4:20! Haha, nice. However, my eyes once again return to the picture frame that the diary had been placed next to. She was all alone, but I have Cheryl. The girl in the pictures is appealing to me for some reason. In the painful silence, I can feel a spiritual message. After wavering, I removed the picture from the frame and slid it into my pocket, and then I left the room. Alessa. Just who is she? And why was her picture on display in the deep basement of the hospital? And where was that strange feeling of a life that I sensed in that room coming from? I am unable to figure any of it out, so I am irritated. I head for the examination room on the first floor. All the mysteries of the hospital are surely prepared in that room. Believing so, I race up the stairs while having difficulty breathing. When I open the door to the examination room, I feel the presence of a person and stop moving. The inside of the room is dark. Someone is here. Who is it? Is it Lisa? Yeah, let's just blindly fire the gun. I like this idea of Harry just like fucking firing his gun everywhere. I readied the handgun. So there's more of you bastards. I can depend only upon my gun in this hospital, which has become a nest for monsters. At the moment I was about to pull a trigger, a woman shrieked, "Wait, don't shoot! I'm human!" With my gun still readied, I carefully looked at the woman under the desk. "Well, what are you doing under there?" Very sped up. Once the woman realized that I was a human, she ran toward me and threw her arms around me like a child would. Finally, someone else who's okay. After mumbling those words in a tearful voice, she held me more tightly. A lot of mumbling happening in this game. Who are you? My name is Lisa Garland. What's yours? Harry Mason. After we exchanged our simple introductions, I sat in a chair, and she sat on the bed, so we were facing each other. The woman that called herself Lisa had blonde hair and an intelligent look to her. Aw, that's kind. Maybe she might know something. At the moment I was about to speak, the woman began talking. "Harry, tell me what's happening here. Where is everybody? I must have gotten knocked out. When I came to, everyone was gone." Her voice did not feel like it was coming from her body, and it was accompanied by a strange reverberation. That's neat. I like that and appreciate that. That's because she's not real, by the way. Having another cough drop up in here. You never meet the real Lisa in Silent Hill 1. You only meet a strange astral projection version that was Alessa's idea, like idealized version of Lisa. Oh yeah, a lot of people are real in Silent Hill. Well, not literally, it's a video game, but whatever. A Lisa-like substance.
It's awful.
So you don't know anything either. Great. I just don't get it. It's like this is all some kind of bad dream. As I select my words, I have a feeling that even my own words are not coming from my body. Yeah, a living nightmare. Let me ask you, have you seen a little girl around here? Short, black hair, 7 years old? I mutter, Cheryl, in a voice that Lisa would not hear. A 7-year-old girl. What, she's your daughter? Yes. A 7-year-old girl. I can't say that I have. I was unconscious all this time. I'm sorry. Ah, that's alright. That was just as I expected, but I continue asking questions without showing my disappointment. Do you know anything weird about that stuff in the basement? No. Why? Is there something down there? You don't know? Don't you work here? We're under strict orders never to enter the basement storeroom. After changing the subject to the hospital basement, I began to notice that my thoughts were becoming muddy. So I really don't know. What did you say was down there? Well, it's... Sirens happen now. I try as hard as I can remember the pitiful side of that room in the basement. However, in trying to trace my memory back to then, that ringing, which had been gone for a while, returned to my ears. Okay, so the ringing is the sirens. That's really interesting that not once has that been translated to siren. A sound like the bells of that church runs throughout my head. Damn, my head! What's wrong? Harry! Harry, let me help you! Harry? After a while, I notice that my body is freezing cold. It is as if I am dead, but I am clearly conscious. Where's Lisa? I was definitely talking to her in this examination room. I no longer feel the evil presence that I felt in this room. No, in this entire hospital up until just before. From the window, soft light is pouring into the room. Was I dreaming? As I slowly get up, I hear the sound of a door opening. I instantly look toward the source of the sound. The creepy woman I met at the church is standing there with an expressionless look on her face.
You were too late.
It's you.
Yes, Dahlia Gillespie.
Tell me everything you know. What's going on?
Darkness,
she responded before I was even done speaking.
The town is being devoured by darkness.
The woman continues while maintaining a devout look.
Strength must overcome petty desire, childish sleep talk. I knew this day would come.
What are you talking about? I don't understand a word of this.
Believe the evidence of your eyes.
So I should believe the evidence of my eyes. I understand. I am in a situation in which I can only believe what I've seen with my own eyes.
The other church in this town, that is your destination. This is beyond my abilities. Only you can stop it now. Have you not seen the crest marked on the ground all over town?
So that's what I saw in the schoolyard. What does it mean?
It is the mark of Samael. Don't let it be completed.
That's right. Hey, wait! Dahlia Gillespie. She places an oddly shaped key on the examination table with a tap, spins around, heads to the door, and then opens it. That explains all the weird things I've been seeing. I open the door that she closed and roll out into the hospital corridor. Roll out! Why is he rolling out? I'm going to town on this lozenge, you better believe it. Roll out, Team Harry Mason. But she's nowhere to be seen. The other church. But if I exclude the church I already visited, I do not see anything that looks like a church on the map. I slowly open the phone book attached to the payphone in the corridor. In there, a mark is present to guide me. It is next to the phone number for an antique shop in the northeast area of the shopping district. Doesn't she just give you a map that circled the Green Lion? After leaving the hospital, I began to walk at a loss. It's not that I'm tired, but that I am sick of the constant weather. Oh yeah, roll out for the ambulance ending. I wish. She should have programmed in the ambulance ending. If he's gonna take out the puzzles, at least program in the fake ambulance ending that does not exist. I recall what Kaufman said. He's a person that lives in this town. He is a person that lives in this town. Yet he did not appear to know why everyone disappeared. He did not appear to know why everyone disappeared. I think this was made simultaneously with Silent Hill 1, but I don't... it was either after or during. It was not before, to my knowledge. When I woke up, it was like this. That is most certainly what he said. Dahlia, she is a mysterious woman. She seems to be holding some secrets, but she always disappears before I can ask her anything. Her timing in meeting me and talking to me was just a little too convenient. Maybe she read the future or something. At any rate, she seemed to have predicted that I would come here, and she spoke about this. And then there's Cheryl's whereabouts. Everything has been unreasonable and illogical. My irritation is increasing, and I will end up losing my cool. And my worm. The antique shop? Yeah, this is it. For a moment, I was taken with the sense that someone was watching me. But without looking back, I entered the door as if I was being swallowed by it. Humph. Gonna meet up with Sybil again. The inside of the shop is small. I take a look around using my flashlight and find that the place is such a mess that it looks almost as if it has been ransacked by a thief. Is something here? At first glance, I don't think that there is anything here that concerns me. However, I did not miss that which was hidden behind a shelf. I move the shelf step by step, and an eerie passage leading into darkness appears. What's this? Harry! I look back toward the familiar voice. Sybil? Sybil, who should have left for the next town over to call for backup, was there. No problem, Mossy Lump. Good question, too. 2 years after Silent Hill 1. That's funny. Oh, I'm glad you're okay. I shouldn't have left you. Things are worse than I thought. It's nuts. What are you doing here? I thought you left town. I saw you go in here, so I followed you. I couldn't get out. All the roads out of town are blocked. Cars have completely stopped running. The phones and radios are still out, too. What about my daughter? Did you see her? No, Sybil shook her head back and forth. Unfortunately, I haven't. I looked down. What about you? Anything? Yeah. I met this bizarre woman. Her name's Dahlia Gillespie. Do you know her? Dahlia Gillespie? I just met her at the church. Something about her. She's quite a creepy person. She said something about the town being devoured by darkness. Gibberish like that. Any idea what it means? I have no idea who's talking anymore. I really don't know. As for me, she said, you can no longer make it time and such things I did not understand the meaning of. Uh-huh. Just gonna... you can no longer make it time and such things I did not understand the meaning of. We then just looked at each other for a bit, each of us thinking of something. How's the gun I gave you? Sybil asked with a bright smile. There have been several situations in which I have had to use it. It seems like I have finally gotten used to using it. Well, you know you won't get over that if you don't use it after all. Sybil brushed her finger on the tip of her nose. Just where is that feeling of emptiness that runs through this room coming from? My body and the images entering my pupils. It all seems like I am in a dream and that my mind is isolated from them. How's the gun? Sybil's calls brought me back around. Harry! Hey, Harry! Yeah, what's wrong? Sybil looked slightly irritated and took a long breath. Then she shifted her gaze to the passage behind the shelf. Entering my pupils. What's this? Just discovered it. Maybe there's something back there. Let's have a look. Wait. We don't know what's back there. I'd better check it out first. I'm a cop. I should go. No, I'm going. Sybil placed her hand over my mouth to keep me from speaking. Whoa. slightly, sexy undertone there. God, and anime is on Harry Mason's side. That's so cute. Oh my gosh, thank you. Beautiful. Thanks, Bye Beetle. Even though I look like this, I am a police officer. Please, leave everything to me. Think of this as my job. Because it is. I remained silent for a bit, and then gave in to her. Okay, please be careful. I peer inside the hidden passage. Inside, it looks like an unseen barrier of darkness has been set up, which makes it look like a place no one should enter. I intuitively sense that it would be dangerous to move into this passage. It is that kind of passage! It is that kind of passage. You know the kind. That kind of passage. You know. I talked to Sybil once as she enters the passage. Sybil? Yes? Do you know anything about, well, like, some other world? It's like some kind of bad dream. What are you talking about? I'm not quite sure. I try to make sense of it, but then my mind goes blank. Everything's dark there, and I hear sirens in the distance. There you go. Finally, sirens. I wonder if they'll change the word ringing to sirens from here on out. I met this nurse, Lisa. It's like I was there, but not really. It's all a blur. Like some kind of hallucination, you know? I have no idea what you're talking about, Harry. Sybil spoke while shaking her head from side to side. Oh, I was just wondering. Never mind. Harry, you're tired. Yeah, maybe. Am I tired? Yes, I am tired. If that is all it is, then that is fine. If my being tired is what caused me to see all the hallucinations up until this point, then Cheryl should return to me. The only thing is the sensation I am feeling is not that of being tired. Rather, my body feels as if I have been on the floor sleeping continuously like a human in cold sleep. Harry, how would you know what it's like to be like a human? And I am feeling the agonizing suffering of not being able to escape from that state. Leaving me behind, Sybil steps into the passage. They didn't talk about the drugs. I can no longer see her from where I'm at. My field of vision is swaying. I pressed my back to a wall and steadily slid down until I reached the cold floor. Oh no, he's cold again. Aww. The shadows of several of the items in the room expand and contract as the light moves. That is how shadows react to light forces moving. It is as if a great number of spirits are laughing at me. Eventually, those shadows pounce on me. The bodiless beings bind my hands and feet and corner me until I'm unable to move. I cannot speak. One long shadow extends a tentacle toward my neck. What? Please stop. I implore. I hold my both of my palms up, but the shadow passes through the areas between my fingers and reaches my neck. I try to speak, but only a gasp comes out that will not reach Sybil. Finally, activity in my brain begins to stop due to the lack of oxygen. I saw stars in my eyes, and then nothing at all. I lost consciousness as if I was just going to sleep. That's how consciousness works, my guy, my dude. Here's another beautiful fan art. Shoot it in the dick. That's so good. I love it. Thank you, Reduxit. That's so funny. Look at that thing. It's impossible to die on this thing. It is impossible. My body is freezing. Oh, someone give Harry a blankie. He's cold all the time. Fat Frol. Very nice. Oh, his heat is gone. He's chilly. Where am I? I cannot focus my eyes. That's right, this is the antique shop. I am sitting on the floor with my back against the cold wall. That is cold, and I'm cold from the cold wall cold. I must have dozed off for a bit. My fingers are as cold as ice, that's why I cannot move them normally. While chasing around after Cheryl, fatigue must have been building up without me realizing it. However, this is no time to be sleeping. Or cold. Oh, I wonder how Sybil is doing. I look around the room and see that the eerie passage that was hidden behind the shelf is still open, just as it was before. Sybil is still in there. When she comes out, I will have a word with her. You got some explaining to do, Sybil. I hope she's okay. Seems like quite a bit of time has passed. He heavily stands once more and checks the gun in his pocket. I then stand at the entrance of the completely dark passage. I have only 3 bullets left. This is the first time, like, bullets have had any sort of number counter attached to them. Like, he's not been finding bullets, I've just been using gun. I cannot afford to waste any. My breathing breaks the silence. I get out the gun and hold it near my temple, with it aimed at the stomach of that dark demon. Oh, I thought he was holding the gun to his head, and I was like, what the fuck, Harry? What are you doing? Oh my god, I hold it near my temple, like he's aiming with it. Okay. What dark demon? And then I begin to walk forward. I'm worried about Sybil's safety, so I'm guided forward by my quivering feet. My quivering feet. After walking for a bit, I sensed light coming from somewhere other than the flashlight on my chest. I leisurely turn off my flashlight and see that something is shining at the end of the passage. Why is he leisurely turning off the flashlight? That's a... I rush forward. Yeah, his feet were quivering because he's cold. His little feet is cold. I'm running toward the light, not unlike how a small insect would. They run away from light. What are you talking about? Something is there. Is Sybil alright? Or will I have to confront a monster again? There was a room at the end of the passage. As I enter the room, the light is so dazzlingly bright that I have to shield my eyes with the back of my hand. There is a simple altar on the wall to the right of where I entered the room. A large flame is coming off a thick candle, and green smoke is billowing from it. Everything in the room was shaking in the light from that flame. What is this place? Once my eyes adjusted to the light, my line of sight jumped to an unbelievable sight. Huh? Once my eyes adjusted to the light, my line of sight jumped to an unbelievable sight. At first I thought it was just a well-made doll. What? A mannequin with a red shirt on. What? It was on its back, lying in a pool of red liquid. But I soon understood what it was. Sybil, I softly called to her. Her light green shirt had been stained crimson by the flow of red liquid from the back of her neck. I was completely confused. It's that kind of passage. Sybil! Sybil, hold on! I shake her shoulders. But she does not respond. Why has this happened? I cover her dead body. She's dead. Her cold body. Oh my god, she's actually dead. Lost in hopelessness, I lost consciousness again. Harry, are you okay? Harry? Harry? Where am I? Harry? Lisa? Then I'm in the hospital. Hey! You were having a bad dream. Was I? Why is it not in quotations? Hey, you don't look too good. Are you okay? I'm fine. Nothing you need to worry about. Well, if you're sure... Lisa. Do you know a woman named Dahlia Gillespie? Oh yeah, that crazy Gillespie lady. She's kind of famous around here. She never sees anybody, so I don't know that much about her. But I heard her kid died in a fire, and supposedly she's been crazy ever since. Well, she says the town is being devoured by the darkness. Do you have any idea what she's talking about? The town devoured by the darkness? Yes, I think I do. Before this place was turned into a resort, the townspeople here were on the quiet side. Everybody followed some kind of queer religion. This is verbatim from the game, by the way. Weird occult stuff, black magic, that kind of thing. As young people moved away, the people figured they had been summoned by the gods. Evidently, things like that used to happen around here all the time. Before the resort, there wasn't really anything else out here. Everyone was so flipped out. Gotta blame it on something. Then a lot of new people came in and everybody clammed up about it.
A cult. Last time I heard anything about it was, gosh, years ago, when several people connected with developing the town died in accidents. People said it was a curse. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm rambling. I'll shut up. No, it's all right. Hey, Harry. What happened? What happened to your hand? Oh, this. I just hurt it a little bit. Is it okay? Yeah, just a scratch. Nothing major. Even if it is just a scratch, there is a lot of blood. If we don't look after it soon, it's okay. Please don't touch it. Why are you so angry? Sorry, but this does not concern you. I don't want to get you mixed up in this. I'm sorry. I have no idea who was talking and when. The reverberation of Lisa's "I'm sorry" remained in my ears. I wonder how long I had been asleep. I found myself in that antique shop again, lying face down in the same position I was just a short while ago. This is the second time we've woken up in the antique shop. Was that another dream? Did I pass out again? I don't want to think so, but maybe this is all just going on in my head. I could have had a car accident, and now I'm lying unconscious in a hospital bed. I don't know what's real anymore. Sybil's body has vanished. She's gone, almost as if she was absorbed into the concrete floor. The cold concrete floor. Maybe Sybil never came here in the first place. Just what did I see? A hallucination? A delusion? I want to talk to Lisa. She knows something. She's holding some secret. I will go to see her. Keeping one hand on the wall to support myself, I stumble out of the antique shop. Goodbye, background we got so used to. Oh wow, we skipped right here. Good. Water. Oh. I opened the gate to the hospital and then energetically opened the door of the examination room. Energetically. Inside, Lisa is waiting for me. Harry! She changes from looking completely exhausted and rushes over to me in an innocent, childlike way. Glad you're okay. Thank God you came back. I was scared to be here all alone. I'm here now. I was worried too. I'm real happy to see you. I lightly hug Lisa and gently draw away. I then speak while looking into her eyes. Lisa, have you seen a policewoman named Sybil? Sybil? That is the first time I have heard that name. I have not seen her. Since that town has become like this, I have not met any other humans other than you. I was irritated that I didn't understand anything that was going on, so I loudly clicked my tongue. Oh, was that me? Whatever. What's wrong, Harry? You don't seem yourself. Sorry. I just cannot see the truth. Even talking to you now, I wonder if it isn't just a delusion. Lisa looks a bit sad. I am me. Nothing has changed. I have just been waiting for you here all along. Saying nothing, I just looked at Lisa. While we were talking, I couldn't be sure that I was currently sitting here or actually speaking. My voice and my existence were beginning to disappear into the dry air in the room. What are you doing here? And then the door opened and someone came in. Dr. Michael Kaufman. Yes, he definitely said that he was a doctor at this hospital. What are you doing? Lisa took a deep breath and half smiled to greet him. This is Harry. His daughter has become lost in this town. This is all new, by the way. There's no scene with all three of these people together. You already told me that. Have you found her? No, I shook my head from side to side. Harry, do you know Michael? Yeah, when I first visited this hospital, I met him once. Almost shot his fucking head off. Yep. Weren't you leaving town? I asked sarcastically. It was no good. All the roads are blocked. It is impossible to get out. The three of us just remained silent. I grew up in this town. I know this area. As far as I could see, all the roads leading out of town have become precipitous cliffs or were blocked with large boulders. We are completely isolated. Lisa's smile disappeared. Well, what are we going to do? We should start thinking about that. I'm going to get some sleep. With that, Kaufman left the room. Where are you going? To the director's office. He often sleeps there. Lisa answered for him. I have no idea who's... Oh, it's cold. It's cold. I feel like I should stop because my voice is really, really losing it right now. I think stopping on "It's cold" is a good place to
Stop. I can't believe how long this is. I was completely confused. Uh-oh. Well, that was a surprising amount of talking. You can tell that my voice is all fucked up, right? I mean, we can play more of this next week. That'll be fine. It's a good cliffhanger that it's cold. How cold? Will it ever be warm again? Tune in next time. Maybe you'll find out if it's warm again. But yes, thanks for watching. If you want to vote for cool things like this, give me $5 on Patreon, and that means you get access to polls where you can vote on cool things like this. And yeah, that's the gist of that. Thanks for hanging out, everybody in the chat. This is weird and I like it, but it's a lot of talking, so it hurts. Goodbye. Thanks for watching. Bye.